I had a new fear unlocked.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. Dragons. I had a nightmare last night, and I want to say fighting a dragon, but that's a very loose thing because I feel that's not... From my dream, that's a kind of a lose-lose. I didn't really realize how terrifying it... Even though we did, Rain of Fire, and they were pretty terrifying in that. Yeah, no, it was scary. It's just a lot of hiding.
Well, okay. I do, have this, thought of, a creature of massive scale. You know, could you imagine how terrifying it'd be? You look up at, the Cascade Mountains, and you can just clearly, see a head and claws walking around on it. From the distance we are to the Cascade Mountains, and you were to be able to clearly see it like that, it's terrifying how large that creature is.
Well, I think it doesn't help that I also ended up caving and getting Ark survival.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a foraging survival game.
Yeah.
So you're bare minimum, you're a naked human running around, and you're just casually doing your thing, and you see movement in the bushes, and you're like, what is that? And then a head pops up, and you're like, oh, okay, it's just a Triceratops. That's fine. And then the other time, it's a T-Rex, and you're like, fuck.
Do you remember the first time you saw a Deathstalker in Fallout?
No. I remember hearing it because they always come up behind you like assholes. So
that's fair.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
The first time I ever saw a Deathstalker, it didn't sneak up on me, luckily.
Is that what they were called?
Deathstalkers, yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah, it is.
Deathstalker?
Yeah.
I thought they were called something else.
Well, what's the other name then?
I don't know. I didn't think Deathstalker sounds weird.
Look it up while I talk.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's off in the distance, and I was remember saying, I'm like, wow, that's a really detailed creature. And then as it started to move around more, I realized
Deathclaw.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is a Deathstalker? Apparently, is there something called the Escape the Deathstalker Fallout 4 wiki?
Oh, I think the Deathstalker is they're
oh, that's a mod.
Okay. But yeah, no, the Deathclaw, seeing it off in the distance, and I was sitting there wow, that's impressively detailed and whatnot. And then as it turned around and got closer, I'm like, oh, that's because it's huge. Shit.
So you look at it, you're like, oh, and it looks at you, huh? Yeah. And you're like, shit.
I can't run fast enough.
But yeah, no, dragons, man.
You sound like a stone dude. Dragons, man.
No, because what ended up happening... I'm not going to do that. Okay, so there was marshmallows, and you were you, but I just remember...
We're also running long.
But we were slurking, slinking around, and I was the lookout. Mm-hmm. You were, trying to do something before it found us. But lo and behold, it was, it came into the cave behind us. Ah. And all we saw was... It
flanked us.
Yeah, all we saw was its head coming over from behind us.
Jesus, that's terrifying.
Fuck. So I kind of failed my lookout.
And then Benedict Cumberbatch was like, I'm small.
I always forget that. All right. Anyways, yeah, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
Tommy Jacob's mixtape. Rush.
Ho, 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 ho. Is that really how you laugh?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are doing episode 167 of our holiday block with 2019's Klaus. Klaus.
Oh, man, I almost went to that old lady thing. You know how awful it would be if I was to actually just do that on the we're editing that part out 100%.
If you know, you know.
Anywho, 2019's Klaus. You want to give a quick synopsis of what this is? Also, happy holidays again. This one I'm going to say specifically Merry fucking Christmas.
Is that when this is coming out?
No. But this.
Oh, this is a Christmas movie.
It's Christmas. I mean, these have all been Christmas movies.
But this is...
Okay. Happy holidays.
A heartwarming tale of a town torn apart, brought together by a postman and a toy maker.
Yeah. It's a sweet story.
I really enjoyed this.
It took a minute for me to get into it. It was it was enjoyable, and then the end of it, the end, I was like, oh,
tears.
I was like, oh man,
tears in my household.
Oh yeah,
yeah. My partner just goes, "That was so sweet."
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. And she had fallen asleep. She fell asleep in the very beginning of it. And
Yeah.
then popped in like 3/4 in and was like, she really enjoyed it too. But she's a big Christmas softie. So.
Yeah, yeah. And it's for me, it's like when it finally like, it's like I do as when I say that I like relate with the Grinch is like I'm very much of a curmudgeon and very much a Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm like, remember, and then like it takes like one like child like holding up like. It's like here's the gift for you, son. I'm like, for me? You got it from you thinking about me? Oh yeah. So anywho, 2019,
November 8th, 2019.
So yeah, they had a limited theatrical release on November 8th, so they could actually get it into the Oscar nominations.
Oh yeah, it was nominated, wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
But its official on Netflix was November 15th.
Yeah. So, oh, cool. It actually has a lot of accolades.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think to look at that. Like, it was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. It's animated, if you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also done in like hand-drawn traditional.
It's really pretty.
It is.
It's very cool.
And we'll get into that a little bit. Like, I did a little bit of reading about that. I don't know. Did you read much into that? Or did you just watch the movie?
No, I read a little bit about, well, let's go into it.
Well, really quick for 2019, how many movies did you have?
I had 35.
I had 43.
Well, even looking at the list, I didn't even know what a lot of them were. I was like, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. 2019 was a big year for me for movies, I guess.
I mean, 'cause that's the thing. I saw all the big ones.
Yeah, no, like the first like 10, I was like, pretty much.
Like the like Us and Joker, It Chapter 2, like the big ones. I saw, but like missed like everything else, I guess.
And this doesn't really have it's not on the box office. There's no really box office thing.
It's
for
that
it.
Netflix streaming thing that we fall into every now and then.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, like if Beale Street Could Talk. No idea what the fuck that is.
I don't know what that one is.
A Star Is Born, or Refuse to Watch.
I just haven't seen it. I'm trying to see if you can just like find a random one that you're like, I don't know what the fuck that is, and I can be like, it's this.
Oh, I didn't count that. So 36. The Dead Don't Die.
Oh, I forgot to count that one. So 44.
Yeah. Tolkien.
That's about Tolkien.
Did you see it?
No.
I'm trying to.
I said I'm still waiting for you to find one
That's what I'm trying to do.
that you don't know.
Child's Play. You hated that.
All right, one more and then we'll move on.
Overcomer.
Overcome her?
Overcomer. Is that Overcomer or Overcorner? Overcomer.
I don't know that one.
Okay, see.
All right.
We tried and failed horribly.
I mean, there's 200 movies to choose from. So
That's true. It was kind of a shot in the dark.
Yeah. All right.
Statistically.
All right. So I just really quick. So this was written and directed by Sergio Pablos. We will get into him for a second. I just do want to also say there's the co-director put onto this, Carlos Martinez Lopez, who has worked in like other like animation department stuff on like a couple of movies, but I couldn't find anything that he's really done.
No, and I even tried the name too, but I kept finding a bunch of different people.
He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure.
Just a quick shout out to Carlos Martinez Lopez for being involved in whatever way you were with this movie, because this was and is more Sergio Pablos' brainchild. And even just like the two other writers on this, Jen Mahoney and Zach Lewis, I think were probably just like extra writers put on from Netflix for something. I don't know. They have like another Netflix writing. They have some shorts, but even like their like writing credits don't like everything that I read about in the production of this. This is all Sergio Pablos.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sergio Pablos worked with Disney during the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. The titles that we were the animation department on were like some of my favorites actually in the Disney world.
Yeah.
Like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is like my favorite Disney one.
I'm the one who sneezed.
Hercules, Tarzan, Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of cool ones. Treasure Planet's cool. But once you know that and then watching this, you're like, I see.
100% yes.
You see.
Or even as like he has the original idea for Despicable Me. Like,
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like on top of that, going into this movie, Klaus, this is the beginning of him setting up his own animation studio in Spain. After working on like Hunchback, Hercules, and Tarzan, it says here, Sergio decided to develop a new traditionally animated feature film. Pablos wanted to explore how the medium would have evolved had Western animation film studios not switched to producing mostly computer animated films since the 1990s. For the film's look, the studio sought to overcome some of the technical limitations that traditional animation had, focusing on an organic and volumetric lighting and texturing to give the film a unique look, which is why the texture and the depth of it is so interesting for it even still being hand-drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, it's really interesting. It's like he wanted to continue the evolution of a hand-drawn thing. And you can see his influence from, being like an animator on Hunchback and, Hercules and Tarzan. I'm really surprised that Emperor's New Groove isn't in here, but I feel like somebody may have stolen some ideas somewhere.
This is Emperor's New Groove, but Christmas themed.
100%.
Like everything about it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Which is not, that feels...
Jason Schwartzman even sounds like David Spade.
And that might come off diminishing, which I don't mean it that way, but it's just... It's like when you compare Harry Potter to Star Wars sometimes, Yeah. Because it's like
the stock characters
spoiled rich kid.
Yeah.
Learns life lesson from jolly bigger guy.
Yeah.
And learns to be a good person.
Mm-hmm. With some weird older woman and some buffoon trying to stop him.
I didn't even think about her in Crunk.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And her design too.
Yeah.
That's pretty, I swear to God, if you ask me who, I will. What did she say? Something like that.
I can't remember either.
But yeah,
it's like
very pull the lever.
I was like, this is very interesting.
That's cool with me because also that's a great one. Emperor's New Groove.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one of my favorite Disney. It's a Disney. It's an underrated Disney movie that doesn't feel like a Disney movie. Honestly,
it doesn't.
The humor in it is so just a little bit more adult. I feel through most of it.
Beware the groove.
I don't remember that one.
The old guy accidentally runs into Cusco when he's dancing.
Yeah.
And he gets him catapulted out.
Beware the groove. It's like, I don't know. The biggest thing I always to go to is squeakity, squeak, squeakums.
I mean, I really want to learn his. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. That one, I want to learn that one. That'd be fun.
You got to remember. Anyway, all right. We're not talking about the Emperor's New Groove. We're talking about Klaus. I mean,
we kind of are.
But yeah, so the animation is really interesting, and Sergio. Well, also, really quick, he wanted to. It's interesting is the story of Santa Claus in this is an original take on it.
Yeah, that's what I was really very curious about too.
So I actually went. I was like, just out of curiosity, I was like, is what up of this story of Klaus is taken from actual tangible stuff of the history of how Santa Claus,
the evolution of Santa Claus.
Which I mean, they literally just whatever lore that has existed, they just found a way to create into this.
Which that's what I was gonna say. I was very curious how they were gonna go into it because I really like this.
Yeah.
Origin.
Yeah, no, so do I.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting.
And it's simple. Like a lot of people might be like, because a lot of even when we get to reviews are saying how formulaic it is, and it's like, yeah, but it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So how fucking innovative did you want them to get with it?
Out of curiosity, I went into just kind of a small little dive of how Santa Claus became, and how the modern figure of Santa is based on three big ideas of Western Christian culture. So biggest one is Saint Nicholas, who was like alleged he was a European folk based on the Christian bishop Nicholas of Myra, a patron saint of children. And then also just the English figure Father Christmas, which I didn't know that this was like its own separate entity, Father Christmas, which was a Christmas gift bringer for like good boys and girls who would leave like into their shoes or like a present under the pillow and whatnot. And then the Dutch figure of Santa Claus, which is a patron saint of children as well. So like
sounds way more intense.
All right, Santa Claus.
Well, if you say it like that.
I even did the arm gesture. Weird.
But you did it that way. You didn't do it that way. You chopped. You didn't swipe. You chopped. You didn't swipe.
Oh, right. Anyway.
That could be taken out of context.
But yeah. So this is 100% a original idea of how the Santa Claus figure.
And isn't it Coca-Cola that made him red?
I didn't do that much of it. That's I don't know if that, I think that might be a Snapple fact type
like
thing.
A weird wise.
But I want to say that it is Coca-Cola created like the hat, the jacket, like the classical image of Santa that we know today is, I want to say, created by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ho, ho, ho. Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah, no, from what a quick little search, it's like Coca-Cola really made the icon of Santa Claus very mainstream with their products, but he has appeared to be wearing red and scarlet colors for a lot of depictions.
Yeah.
So
it's literally it's just the style of the hat.
Something I heard and I ran with it. Yeah. I heard it one time and I was like, you know he's gay, right?
I was just about to say that. No, he's not.
Thought he was. I've met his wife. Thought he was. Anyways. All
right. So yeah,
we're gonna get sued by him. Quote him too much.
We quote him, but we also, I mean, I guess we should say that's Tom Segura joke.
Well, it's not even the joke. It's kind of a line kind of from the joke.
It is part of the joke.
Well, I know, but there's no context unless you know. Yeah. Like if you know, you know. Otherwise, we're just
assholes
and just
quoting him out of context.
Yeah, and ranting and raving like lunatics.
Well, that was Sergio Pablos, writer director.
I would have thought Matt for that one. Yeah, good job though. Well, that's what we're getting at. I don't know. That's great animation.
I guess we can just go into starring real quick.
Yes. So our lead, Jesper, is Jason Schwartzman. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that was hard.
Schwartzman.
Funny enough, she thought it was Ryan Reynolds, which I never realized that they actually do.
They kind of do have a similar timbre.
Yeah, up to their voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recently, well, not, I guess kind of recently, Marie Antoinette.
Yes, episode 148. We talked about Jason.
That was 20 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was like, not really recently. What do you know?
I immediately think Rushmore with him.
I think Scott Pilgrim.
And that's another one.
A lot of voice acting.
Darjeeling Limited. I connect him to Wes Anderson, honestly.
I was going to say Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
Isn't that Wes Anderson? That is, right?
Yeah, that's Wes Anderson, yeah.
George Clooney. You can't tell by the color palette, Tommy?
Yeah. Or the symmetrical imagery.
Yeah. And the dry humor. Up next for Klaus would be J.K. Simmons, who we also talked about recently.
Yeah.
In episode 165, The Ref.
Yeah, that was his film debut. He had done that was his film debut, not his camera debut.
I like that I just dawned on me. We accidentally picked 2 Christmas movies with him in it.
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Because we went into this not knowing anything about it. I just was like, oh, I remember a while ago an animated Christmas movie coming out that looks kind of cool. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, sure, whatever. And
well, it's he weirdly pops up
He has a lot.
Yeah,
Because also he does a lot of voice acting,
which makes sense because he has a really good voice.
He has a great voice.
Because I have here right now. Most recently, he is Omni-Man, Saul Nolan, Grayson, and Invincible. He was the voice of Ketherick Thorm in Baldur's Gate 3.
Of who?
The first bad guy in the Moonrise Tower. The main bad guy, the General Thorm.
Oh, that's him?
That was J.K. Simmons' voice.
Holy shit, it totally was.
Yeah, right? The only reason other than looking at his IMDb, but I knew that.
Isn't he in Legend of Korra too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Aang's great grandson or whatever the fuck.
No,
Or is he just his son?
I think he's just Aang.
What? In the Legend of Korra? No, he's a descendant of Aang. Remember, because the only one still alive is Ta.
I thought Aang was still alive.
No, Aang's not alive. What's her name? The blind girl.
Toph,
and
Toph.
then
Topher
and
Topher Grace.
Katara or Katrina. What the? I'm really blanking on their names.
I've only watched the series of both of those only one time through, so I'm not.
I always thought you were a big fan of it for some reason.
It's because I watched it. I just binge watched it and then read a bunch about it and then
then
never
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons, which the only reason I brought it up is because someone did that of him in Korra, and he's just cussing people out.
Oh yeah, that's a fun
really
one. Funny. Yeah. Who do you got next?
Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
Who plays Alva? I most know from Parks and Rec. I did think it was funny. I didn't really ever put this together, but her being in Parks and Recs for as long as she have and The Office is kind of crazy.
Well, she was only in The Office,
but I'm just saying they're two really big shows of that time.
Well, she got Parks and Rec because of The Office, because the Parks and Rec didn't start until The Office was in season 5 or 6.
Okay, I thought they were
Oh no.
Okay, no. I'm not a big Office person, so
Parks and Rec started 2005, 2004, no, 2006.
No, really?
Yeah.
You think? Okay. Well,
because it ran for 10 seasons and it ended in 2016.
Oh, it started in 2009.
Oh, damn, even later.
Wow, I thought it was way earlier than that. Huh.
So yeah, The Office. Then at that point, The Office was towards the end,
tail end.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
but yeah, Rashida Jones at Parks and Rec. I also she lead in her own kind of show, Angie Tribeca, which is a parody of
I haven't watched that
yet. What is it? Period. What is Law and Order called? A periodical.
Dun dun.
There's a specific word of that genre.
Of Law and Order?
Like Law and Order, NCIS.
Crime drama? I don't know.
Yeah. Never mind. I thought you would help me.
Wow. Okay.
She's also in I Love You, man.
Yeah. Who do you got next?
I mean, after that, it's just more of kind of some shout outs, Joan Cusack.
Yes. Norm Macdonald.
This is the last film that he did.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. And then Sergio Pablos did the voice of Joan Cusack's opposite, the other dude, the of the other family.
I thought that was Will Sazu or whatever.
Oh, did I look at that wrong?
Yeah, no. Sergio Pablos is the kids, Pumpkin and Olaf.
Oh.
And then Will Sasso is the other
Oh, Will
leader.
Sasso.
Sasso, yeah.
From Mad TV.
Yeah, he's the other.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's the ginger leader.
Yeah. And she's the
brunette leader.
Dude, when the children on the brunette side are terrifying looking. The way that they stare.
Yeah, it's really just if you haven't seen it, the town, like I was saying, is torn apart by this family generational feud, and
it's about tradition.
It's the redheads versus the emo brunettes, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is what it is.
It's the gingers versus the emos.
It's the gingers versus the emos. Yeah. Well, no, because that's the thing is I feel like he did, like, this is all speculation, but he definitely feels like he took a lot of inspiration because even that little one that likes to kill the snowman looks like a lot like Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
I mean, which specifically dark hair, braids, big eyes, very Tim Burton looking.
Yeah,
Wednesday
they're very
Addams.
Tim Burton, yeah.
Yeah, looking. But yeah, is there anyone else that you wanted to?
I mean, that was pretty much everyone. That.
All are big.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you want to give us our scores?
Yeah, this is actually very, very high rated, really. On IMDb, it's got an 8.2, so it's good.
I didn't even see that. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it is.
Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 95 tomato meter rating and then a 96% audience score rating. So literally, like, really fucking high.
I thought I had that open. I don't. Yeah, so let's see. This is the... So yeah, the Metacritic score is a 65, which is generally favorable, with 9 positive reviews, 4 mixed, and 0 negatives.
You say 65?
Yeah.
That's low.
It's green.
Yeah, but like that's 65 out of 100, right?
I would assume so.
Okay.
Well, it's generally favorable.
Flavorable?
Flavorable. Tastes good.
Tastes like peppermint.
Tastes like
Christmas.
Tastes like Christmas taters. Merry Crisis. Merry Chrysler. Happy Christmas. So for the positive, 83 out of 100. Matt Fuller at IGN. Sergio Pablos' Klaus is a beautifully animated mix of old and new, offering up a unique and quirky take on Santa's humble beginnings. It's a fun, fresh story about friendship and the power of kindness that coats snowbound cliches with a shiny sheen.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my sentiment on it.
Yeah.
58 out of 100. Who did I pick? Who are you? Indy. Okay. 58 out of 100 by David Elric at IndieWire. None of the characters in Klaus are as delightful as they were well drawn, and Pablo's film never earns the holiday spirit it tries to manufacture down the home stretch. But there's no denying that the future of traditional animation looks a little brighter than it did yesterday, and that's reason enough to celebrate.
Okay. I think it gets to the Christmas spirit by, the last scene shot. Moment.
Yeah. But it's always interesting
It does take a minute to get there, though, for sure.
Well, but that's kind of the point, is
Yeah.
because he needs to learn his lesson.
Yeah.
And he Grinches it, he's willing to sacrifice himself, and that's his heart growing,
Yeah.
But I always think it's interesting when they say they manufacture the holiday spirit, especially with something like this that I feel, okay, how do I word this? This time of year, a lot of stuff comes out. Hallmark, I'm talking to you. That is not particularly worth the time and or energy to make or digest. So that to me is manufactured holiday spirit.
I wonder how much that paycheck is as an actor.
I don't know.
What if I started starring in Hallmark movies?
The lumberjack.
Yeah, because that's what I would get cast as.
You'd be the quirky friend.
Yeah, I would. Give me $10,000.
She's cheap. But yeah, it's like to me, it's like this doesn't feel like manufactured, and it might also be the fact that it is an animation, that a lot of the hand drawn and everything like that. That alone is a lot of time and energy.
Well, there is a thing that I was thinking about. Is like there is like with. It follows in the formulaic sense of like what a Christmas story should be. Mm-hmm. So I can see someone saying this manufacturedness to it because it's just following the beats that need to happen for a movie like this. But at the same time, for Sergio and his this is like his first big thing, his first movie for his animation studio, is he was like, okay, well, what's an iconic story that I can work on.
That's a good point. This is a good jumping off point for
that I could have a lot of fun with and I could tell my own version of.
Well, yeah, and kind of piggybacking on what you're saying, it's like this is a good jumping off point for an animation studio because it is a holiday movie, and that alone is going to give it a little more momentum than, I don't know. All right, our first movie is going to be about a talking bull that needs to learn to not hate the color red. You know what I mean? Some random
that movie I think exists.
Really?
Yes. DreamWorks, I'm looking at you.
That sounds like a DreamWorks thing. I hate the color red. And learning to control his temper or whatever.
Toro?
Excuse me. Sorry. That was
yeah, no, actually, we should just look this up really quick. Animated bull movie.
Found it.
Ferdinand.
A bull with a big heart's mistaken for a dangerous beast. He's captured, torn from his home. Determined to return to his family, he rallies a misfit team in an ultimate adventure. And
David Tennant's a voice in it.
And Sergio is an animator on it. Anyways,
what door in the Twilight Zone did we just walk through?
Besides the point, you get my point. Like, right?
Yes.
This is Christmas is a good, and also with it being a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Yeah.
It also doesn't, in a weird way, the Christmas element is so in the backdrop until the very end when he gets the idea of Christmas to get the rest of the letters.
Yeah,
because the entire time he's just making these kind of poor children, he's helping them and get toys, and because they don't have toys,
and inspiring them to want to write and learn,
and
without realizing it.
He's doing good deeds without realizing it, because with his selfish actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because it is a Christmas movie, but it's not super shoved down your throat until the end, because even then, never once do they call Klaus Santa Claus.
No,
and they never even really show him as like now the mythical character, so it's like, the Christmas thing is very on the back burner until they're like, all right, now 100 degrees, let's go, like push through. And then the last quarter is very Christmas, but that's what's kind of nice about it. It's not just jingle bells jingle the entire time, it's just kind of,
no, it's actually got a lot of heart to it because of and great character development.
And that's a lot of reviews too were saying like about that the characters felt very like one note, but it's like, again,
they're stock characters, but they actually felt like they gave them life. I mean, I think the school teacher is probably maybe one of the more one note-ish, but if you really think about it, it's like you have Jesper, who is couscous,
rich
Cusco. Think couscous. That's a food,
not couscous. Cusco. I should have just let you run with it. Just see how many times you called him couscous.
God damn.
And then the end of the episode, by the way, he said it 16 times. His name is Cusco.
Cusco, so the spoiled brat, it's also Richie Rich, spoiled brat who needs to learn like how to not be selfish type thing,
No, Richie Rich is not selfish.
That's right. I'm getting that backwards.
It's the other kid.
Yeah. But and then you have Klaus, who is the bigger man who's are afraid of, but has the soft, gentle heart and the tragic backstory of how he became.
You learn he's a big softie.
He's getting caught right there. The tragic backstory. You find out why he is actually the hearted man he is now.
And even then too, it's like he's just a shut-in. He just wants to be.
And then
alone.
You have Ava, right? That's her name. Avita.
Evita.
Alva. Thank you. And then you have her, who's just like, she's kind of shrewish until like the kids open up her heart and whatnot, and that's another stock female character.
Yeah, but it's also like and it's just because it's not really about her.
Yeah,
it's like you're trying to really, what we're focusing on is Jesper.
Jesper and Klaus,
really, and then it's like, so with that, but then the other main character honestly is the children.
Yeah.
They're what we're watching the
town.
The town, yeah. But the children are the pushing force to this change that's happening, And it's like, the future is in the hands of the children.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know, so it's like
because even the kids like going around and like clearing off all of like the axes and spears, like all of the damage they've done, like throwing at like it's weird. This like weird just road divide. And
one side, but that's really cool. Yeah. That's a cool visual.
It's a very Disney like. Oh, it's like it's Shakespeare's already heightened, but it's a heightened Shakespearean like idea of like Romeo and Juliet. You know?
Yeah, the Montagues and the Capulets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was. It's like it's a super stylized version of we're on this side, you're on that side.
The sharks and the remember West Side Story.
I've actually never seen West Side Story.
Oh, okay, never mind. I mean, that's also Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. That's why but it's a musical version, so I'm like, I'm good.
I do actually want to watch Steven Spielberg one.
My mom really liked it.
Yeah, I heard it's actually really good.
My mom really liked it. But it's like, but also what I think is interesting is like, these this is kind of an interesting like thought too, is that even though these characters, are one note in a lot of ways, it works, but it also works because of the humor behind it. Yeah. The quick talking David Spade,
Jason
Schwartzman guy, and his timing, like the one that really got us was when he's like doing his heroic act and he jumps onto the sleigh and he goes, and they're not connected and he starts sliding back. And he's why are they not connected? And I never in a million years
would have done this if
I knew they weren't. Why aren't they connected? Why aren't they connected? They just start sliding down. That really got me because again, it's like, and it's that David Spade, Jason, and Ryan Reynolds like really great timing.
It's the quick-witted like
fast talking character.
Yeah.
And it's just also like, and they played with the size difference.
They're not connected. Oh, this is going to be interesting. It's be really fun. Okay, let's just fall down here now.
And they just like played with the size difference between the two of them very well.
Yeah.
Like even when he like wants him to take the package to the door and he picks them up, puts them in, through, and then closes it behind him. But yeah.
Did you notice that on the rating of it, one of the things that said rude humor?
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think part of it's like when the house or the family leaders are like walking the children, like the tradition of like their feud and whatnot, and it's like, and the great battle of blah blah blah, and we're like, and then it's like it's a model of the houses, and all of their butts just come out.
Oh, yeah.
I was half expecting there to be just shit start just.
That would have been a touch too far.
Yeah.
Kind of like weirdly, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. That's also because a lot of the humor, a lot of it kind of reminded me even of like Shrek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that right there, when they're there's that little toy that they press that sings the song about tie your shoes, wash your face. Like
because they're bent over, but they turn on wash. Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of humor. That's the thing, and that's another thing too. It's like for being a holiday Christmas animated movie, this is very fun as an adult to watch.
Yeah.
So it's even like I was thinking about telling Pookie about it, being like, like this is on Netflix right now. If your kiddo you're looking for something, I highly recommend because I think you'll be able to sit through this and not want to gouge your eyes out. Like with this, because like a lot of these things, especially in holiday ones, they can become sickeningly sweet where it just feels super pandering and not genuine.
What's interesting about this is like I feel like you can kind of break it down into 3 separate acts. And it's like you have the beginning of it, obviously the prologue, you got, Jesper getting sent to Schmiersburg as a punishment because as a delivery man, since his father is like the postmaster general or whatever, and he's rich, so he's just like, he's expected to be spoiled, be pampered,
Yeah.
So as a punishment, he's sent to this place where letters don't go anywhere and whatnot, and blah blah blah.
Well, even to where the drill sergeant is even like, "Are you? I mean, I'm all for punishment, but like, damn, sir, like that's." Even I think that's kind of a step too far,
So you have like this entire first act of Jesper and Klaus kind of creating this Santa Claus lore in a way. Like they like as they start delivering the presents regularly, the kids start creating this fabricated idea.
That was cool. They started creating this legend.
And what was funny about it is like, because all they see is Klaus because he's the larger man. They don't see Jesper. He's like, yeah, no, and he fits through the chimney, and you're seeing Jesper. Jesper's the one doing all of these acts, but the kids are saying it's Klaus.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah. And so
and it was
eating the cookie.
The imagination of the children.
Yeah. Like expounding this huge thing. And that was really cool. Like, and that was a fun montage because like you're just hearing them say all these things and you're seeing Jesper do all these things. Yeah. And Jesper's hearing it and he kind of gets a little resentment towards Klaus, you can tell.
Yeah. Because
he's one doing it. Yeah.
But also you have to remember you're not making the toys.
Exactly.
So you need Klaus.
Exactly. And I guess like that, the whole like premise, like how Jesper needs 6,000 letters to be delivered in this town
to go back to his normal life.
And when he first gets there, no mail's going out. But then all it takes is he gives a toy to a kid, and by also the help of Klaus, that whole adventure. And through that, then that kid tells other kids like, "Hey, if you write a letter to this guy, the woodsman, you'll get a toy." So then Jesper uses this as like, oh, give me a penny and I will mail it for you because that's how the mail service works, you know? And so that's how this whole thing starts to like unfold for Jesper to be delivering these toys for the kids. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, he is literally using these children for his own benefit.
Yeah.
It is kind of.
One of my favorite moments, really quick, of like the whole creating of the lore is when the wheels get knocked off on the sled because of the two families having the same idea at the exact same time, and then the sled and the reindeer, and they hit that fucking ramp, and that kid looks out the window and just sees them. He's like, "Oh, you guys are never gonna believe what I saw." And like creating the lore that the magical reindeer pulling the sleigh and whatnot. It's like, it's fun, like all of the lore, how they found a way to make the lore real, but not like fun.
Well, that's what was like, you know, what are we at, by the way?
42.
Okay. And then we can, like, that's what I really, really liked about it. I was very curious when the Christmas miracle was going to happen where he actually became Santa Claus. And
I mean, there's a couple of different Christmas miracles.
Oh, well, him transforming into the Santa Claus, you know, is like, I thought was really well done. I thought it was going to be really cheesy and over the top, but it was just such a really well done, subtle moment.
Yeah. But then it's heartbreaking as Jesper is like looking for his friend. But then that very end, that last moment, he's like,
and I get to see my friend every year. Oh,
yeah, I'm getting the emotions of just thinking about it right now.
I think my favorite moment, like humor wise, and I was really curious how they were going to do this, is like the two clans towards the end meeting and they want to have their battle, but they realize that everyone's getting along.
Yeah.
So she proposes a truce, you know, and I was like,
you're talking about that moment? Or okay.
When she's proposing a truce, and I was like, that's weird though, because you want to, you know, and I was like,
yeah.
And then the other guy goes, so you want to do a truce of peace to end the peace?
Yeah.
And I was really happy they really called it out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if they just ignored that kind of thing, I just feel like that's lazy.
Well,
but
no, and then even at the end, Jesper he calls out like, your guys' truce like is like the piece that needed to happen is like, I forget exactly what he said.
No, I know. I don't remember exactly, but I know what you. But
yeah, because it's like when all of the toys are destroyed, and then they're not, but you know.
Even that was a great segment. That chase scene down the mountain was really cool.
How'd you know I wasn't gonna get knocked off? Oh, you don't have to answer that one.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, it is kind of that wild how much like Emperor's New Groove DNA is in here, because just popped in my head is that entire scene where he's like freaking out and he's talking to himself like he's two different people. He's like slapping himself. Like that was very, very much when Cusco had his complete breakdown. And and I wonder if it also is because of Jason and his voice and the similarities it has to David Spade. I wonder if that really, because even actually J.K. Simmons and John Goodman, similar timbre.
But also look at the character designs of both these characters.
Yeah.
Tall, slender llama, tall, slender postman. big boxy toy maker, big boxy
dad and
farmer.
Is that what he is? A farmer? Yeah, he's a farmer. Yeah, no. It's definitely just like trip him up. Just talk to him one day, like the director, and talk to him. It's like,
well, okay, so really quick.
What's an animated movie you like a lot?
Nipper's New Groove came out after he left.
Okay.
And
how much after?
Well, okay, hold on a second. We're gonna do some speculation.
That's always fun.
Tarzan came out in 1999.
What?
Yes.
Whoa. I didn't realize that.
Emperor's New Groove came out in 2000. So if the last film Sergio worked on was Tarzan,
it's very possible he was working on...
He was maybe working on Emperor's New Groove. Or maybe Sergio was like, hey, guys, what about this story about this fast-talking, like, emperor or, like, rich guy who...
And someone else in the department ran with it.
He, yeah, and then someone's like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then he left to start his own animation studio. And then... Could you imagine Sergio just, like, watching Emperor's New Groove and be like...
Yeah, what if instead of him... Yeah, this is a big F you to Disney. Like, that was my idea.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to think about it.
That's kind of what... That's what I...
That's that what your heart of hearts is telling you?
Yeah, that's what my heart of hearts tells me. Is that I feel like Sergio got ripped off.
And like he was like, no, I'm still going to make my fucking movie. Yeah. And then maybe it was like, but now to separate it, I need a different theme, you know?
Yeah.
But it wanted the base bones to be the same.
Yeah.
That's fun. I think it's great.
Because I think it would be weird for him to like take a Disney property and then rip it off.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to start his own like his own animation studio.
That wouldn't be the best move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Interesting. Things got interesting.
Well, that escalated quickly.
I killed a guy. Yes, I would mean to talk to you about that. I think you should lay low for a while.
All right. I guess one of my favorite moments was actually when Jesper gets off the boat, or when he gets on the boat with his father, and his father kind of like has this realization.
Oh my God, that little girl kills me.
Oh, speaking Sami,
Yeah.
Sami, yeah, Sami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, you're going to be a problem.
There's like also her entire like tribe of people coming to help and whatnot. It was like Santa's little helpers.
Yeah, that was pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean.
But no, like when Jesper's father sits down on the boat and kind of just like leans at him, and it's like, you can see it's like, oh, there's like a weird now sense of pride that the father is like, oh, you've actually found your happiness in the world. Don't let me take that from you.
Well, but I was going to say too, I really did like, and I don't know if you felt the same way about this, but the boat captain, Norm's character.
Yeah.
I didn't write down his name. He felt like this kind of Christmas Carol spirit guide.
He's like kind of the narrator, almost like a Greek chorus thing.
Yeah, but he's the one,
but not 100%. Yeah,
yeah, but he's like dry and sarcastic. And
he is the connection between the audience and the reality of the world. He is like our like fourth wall break thing.
Well, yeah, even like when Jesper gets on to the boat and he's like, I'm sure it won't turn into anything that he'll harbor and hold resentment for. Yeah. I was like, and that felt like this kind of spirit.
He's the audience commentator.
Yeah, he's the spirit guide for us, you know, because he also, the way he just kind of pops up in moments and then says something to make the situation worse, or like call out the obvious to annoy Jesper, and then disappears. And you kind of forget about him as a character until he pops up again.
And he's like, young love, I remember that.
Yeah, you know, so I really liked that.
He's like, I got a scar.
And it really it felt like, you know, it felt like the Ghost of Christmas Present kind of thing, you know, without being that. But I really enjoyed him just kind of popping in and popping out.
And then like Jesper going like, Alva showing Jesper like what he has done in the town, and like everybody's actually like kind of peaceful for whatever reason, or for that the spirit of Christmas. And then just the fucking brunette kids just like working on the snowman, just
not killing it this time,
but like wide eyed, just like looking like.
But remember the first time you see her, she's slowly stabbing the snowman with a carrot.
Yeah, that's right.
Like slowly. I thought she was gonna go like psycho with it, but like no, she's like
she went a different world psycho route.
Yeah, she was like, I want you to feel this. I'm gonna look you in the eye as I do it. I like all in all, I think it's a very, very well done, warm.
Oh yes, yeah. Like the acts when I was breaking down. Let me see if I can just rush through this because it's very heartwarming. It's like you have the story, the creation of the Santa Claus lore, and then you have the exploration of the conflict of the two families that don't want it to be happening anymore, and Jesper finding out that his selflessness or his selfishness is actually affecting people and affecting himself.
Yeah.
And then you find out about Klaus and his tragic backstory.
The little family tree built into the tree.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh!
And then the two families' truce as they work together, getting more letters sent to then reveal his Jesper's his selfishness to the entire people that have been helping him, but then his arc to come back out of that and realize like, no, this is actually, I want to be here with you guys. And they have to see him almost sacrifice his life for the non-presence.
Well, yeah, and it's also like, there's this like feeling of the rant in How the Grinch Stole Christmas about the avarice, you know, and it's like I could see that being, what's the point of Christmas toys, and people having a problem with that. But with this kind of setting, this is a very rundown, poor town. These are kids that don't have anything. Yeah. So the one wooden train that they have is, as a 6-year-old, this is their world. Treasure. Yeah. This is like this isn't a toy. This is like their one item that they play with. Well, and that's why it's important.
And this is kind of a thing is that like the whole idea, the consumeristic, materialistic idea of Christmas evolved obviously from the idea of the toy and whatnot, but it lost its meaning. Is that what the whole idea of the toy is like? It's about children. It's about making children happy. It's about children being the future, like what you said earlier. And like this entire town, the two families are completely split. And I guess it's not families. It's just like whatever, the gingers versus the emos, Mm-hmm. But like they're so like they find common ground when the children start playing together and children start doing good acts and for the adults, and the adults find the warmth in that. So it's more about like the gift giving, being the kind to the children brings them kind to the adults.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then again, that's the whole montage of you just start seeing, like, because that was great too. It was like,
I picked the blueberries. Here you are.
And then it turned into, then to jam to cake to now a bigger cake. But they're doing it all begrudgingly at first. Yeah. Like, look, oh yeah. And it's like,
oh, you're going to do that for me? Well, let me do this for you.
It's all passive aggressive, and then it actually becomes a genuine. Oh, you made me a cake. I want to make you a cake now.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, it's all about toys, but it really did a good job of evolving its message.
Yeah. That it's
into
not,
a greater good.
It's not about the materialistic toy that the children is getting.
That's just the catalyst to start these actions.
As opposed to Christmas today is more like how it's materialistic consumer.
Yeah, how the Grinch, like
jingle all the way.
And it's just wanting to want. It's those videos that you'll see around too. I just saw one. It was a kid getting a Nintendo 64 and is like ecstatic. Is
dude,
screaming,
when I got my Super Nintendo, I lost my fucking mind,
crying with and then last year getting a PlayStation 4 and they're throwing a bitch fit because it's not the right color, or it's the disc one, not the or something. I can't remember what it was, but something like that, where it's like, I'm about to hit this child. I'm gonna kick him in the chest.
Drop kick.
Yeah.
All right, we're at like 55.
Okay.
Wrap it up. How many carrots do you feel like giving it?
I don't know. Like, for me personally, this is a 5. This is now this is in my rotation of holiday movies. I'll probably watch it every year. or at least like if we're having like you and I are having a Christmas thing with people, I'd like, let's put that on in the background.
But as a movie, objectively,
that's what I'm torn on.
I'm like at between like a 3.5 to kind of a 4 almost.
Good, great, amazing. 3.5 then.
What about a 4? I feel a 4 feels better.
Well, 4 is great.
Well, yeah, and we also got to remember about the animation as well.
Give it a okay. So 3.5 story wise, bump it up to 4.
Yeah, because the animation really makes it, and it's great to see an animation studio wanting to continue the tradition of hand drawn animation and find ways to make it, make it improve upon it, make it more eye catchy, like the way that they use the lighting with everything. Like it's the animation is beautiful.
That's very fair because it's like it's
innovative. This story itself is kind of like, yeah, but the animation itself is innovative.
Well, and it is that Renaissance era of just like this fits perfectly within there because the animation of that era is so iconic in each one of the individual movies and worlds they made, like from Hunchback and Tarzan.
Yeah.
Like those movies have such an identity just with their visual aspect besides anything, right? Yeah. So,
and those movies are the first ones that started using computer animation for their
like him surfing on
I think the first one specifically may have been Beauty and the Beast.
I think you're correct because I remember my parents talking about when they took me to see that when it came out. They were blown away about that.
The ballroom scene.
The panoramic shoot. They were like, what the fuck was that? You know, they had never
it's like, how do you do this in an animation?
Yeah, they were like, how the hell did they do that?
Yeah.
Well, that was in the era where they were splicing it a lot, like Tarzan on the vines and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I would say 4 because visually, like, and we've talked about it with like I think Pinocchio too. It's like whether or not you should, if you're an animation fan, you should watch it just for that alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you're like, I don't really like Christmas movies, cool. It is a Christmas movie, but it also there's a lot of it. Like I was saying, it's not until the very end is really where it pushes the. But just like from a visual standpoint, this is really cool, very unique.
Yeah.
And everyone just looks great. Well, even like the the subtle transformations, like even Alva, when you first see her, she's all like run down and
she's like Meg from Hercules.
Yeah, Herc. And then you see, and it's not even like that. You kind of slowly, as she is actually,
her hair gets more up,
and her clothes start getting more like tidy, and she just starts looking happier.
Yeah,
and it's a subtle thing. It's not just night and day. It's just as the montages happen, you start seeing her until the very end when she becomes the love interest. You're like, oh, okay, this is now she has found her purpose again.
Yeah,
by being a teacher and teaching these young kids to be better people.
What is on your face? What, you don't like it? Yeah, Alva hates it too.
Well, and even that's a great, cute moment too. Is like when she teaches, she's like whatever about it, and she teaches that little girl how to write her own name, and they all get so ecstatic. You can see the spark kind of kicking like, her.
Oh,
like this is what I'm here for.
Yeah,
this is what I wanted to do, and now they actually want to do it.
Fucking children.
So
bringing out the happiness in everyone.
Fucking children. So 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right. Putting it in the sacred text of the carrots.
Okay.
All right. What are we doing next week?
Miracle on 34th Street.
The remake or the original?
The remake. We're doing the remake.
The 90s?
94.
94. Oh my God, that's John Hammond and Matilda.
Mm-hmm.
Just realized that.
Yeah.
Starring John Hammond and Matilda. Because I don't know their real names yet.
What's his... Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jurassic Park and Matilda. There we go. Dinosaurs and Santa Claus.
Dinosaurs? Yeah. I'd watch it.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on all of our stuff. Instagram, Facebook. In there, you'll find all the link trees for everything. Mm-hmm. Oh, remind me. There's an email I have to show you that we got.
Okay. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
And then, we're on YouTube for if you want to watch us, if you want to watch the video of us talking about this and whatnot, and like and subscribe.
We're on all your podcast streaming services. And we're going to be doing Miracle on 34th Street next week.
Yes.
Whoa.
Let's go.
I'll get there. Okay, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's
Mixed
Mixtape.
Bit.
Chop, don't swipe.